This is Paul Turner, the Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers. Thank you for switching on to my channel. Please subscribe, and if you have an immigration problem, no matter whatever it is, please get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the new immigration routes, the startup visa. I'm going to talk about the introduction and the requirements that are necessary to get such a visa. I'm pleased to notify my viewers, especially the entrepreneurs, about the new entry clearance route that's recently been announced by the UK government and has come into force. The purpose of this video is to briefly tell you what a startup visa is. It is in essence a new route for people to come to the United Kingdom, which provides opportunities from entrepreneurs originating from outside the EU to enable them to set up a business in the United Kingdom, part of what the UK government's talking about opening up. If you're interested in this visa, the startup visa, or would like to know more about it or even apply for it, then get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help you. Now, this route is open for those that want to set up an innovative business for the UK for the first time. In essence, the key requirement is that the business should be new and different from anything that already exists in the business sector. So this is something which will involve some challenges, but again, opportunities. The government has published the eligibility requirements on its website, which rather than go through all of it, I thought I would briefly summarise to give you a better understanding of what the startup visa is and how you can apply for it. First things first, before you apply on this route, it is vital that you have a business or a business idea assessed by an endorsing body. That is either a UK higher education institution or a business organisation having history of supporting UK entrepreneurs. The list of endorsing bodies can be found on the government's website, but it's worth cross-checking whether the endorsing body that you are intended to take on board is on the published list which the Home Office publish. The endorsing body will, if they approve it, generate an endorsement letter if they find the business to be new and workable. So in some ways, the government has subcontracted out whether there is a viable business plan. The second stage, which is much easier to me, is that the applicant must be at least 18 years of age, which is not unreasonable, really. The next is that it's fundamental, and this is obviously common sense, that the applicant meets the English language requirement, i.e. the applicant will need to prove their English language by showing that they can read, write, speak and understand English. The minimum level in this case is what's called B2. The applicant can provide and prove their knowledge of English by either passing a secure English language test, and it's worth checking the website for what is one, having a GCSE A-level or national qualification at level 4 or 5, or having a degree level academic qualification that's been taught in the English language. So there are a number of options there. The next is that applicants from certain countries are of course exempt from the English language requirement. So it's worth checking to see whether you come from one of those countries if you apply that route. Some of them are in the West Indies, and the USA is obviously included in that list. But again, the list can be found on the Gov site, and it's worth checking it because it is quite limited. So you want to make sure you don't fall foul of that requirement. Finally, the last requirement is to meet the financial requirement. In this, the applicant will need to be able to prove that they have enough personal savings to support themselves while being in the United Kingdom. The amount needed to show for the startup visa is £1,270, which should have been in the applicant's bank account for at least 28 consecutive days before applying. This shouldn't be a problem if someone is an entrepreneur. In my view, the startup route seems to be a favourable route for those that seek to establish a new business in the United Kingdom. The successful applicants that will have met the eligibility criteria can legally enter the UK with their partners or dependent children, which is good. However, it is important to note that the startup is not a route to settlement, but importantly, a person may be able to progress from the startup to the innovator route, which does lead to settlement in the United Kingdom with their partners or dependent children. So it's a way in. Now, what does the startup visa entitle the applicant to? So I thought I'd set out some of the useful facts. Firstly, the question that's often asked is, well, how long can I stay in the United Kingdom under this visa? Well, the answer is you can stay for 2 years, either if you come on the startup visa or switch this visa from another visa category whilst you're in the United Kingdom. So it might be an option for people that are already here. Next question that I'm often asked is, what happens if I want to stay longer in the United Kingdom? Say my business is successful. Well, unfortunately, you can't apply to extend this particular visa, but you may be able to switch into the innovator visa if your business has been set up whilst on the startup visa, which is common sense, really. You will again need to have your endorsing body assess and agree to your business plan, and you will need to show that the business is actively trading sustainable and demonstrate that you have day-to-day involvement with it, which is very important. You can't just buy a business and then just abdicate responsibility. Another question that's often asked is, what happens if my endorsing body withdraws its endorsement? Well, this can cause problems, as your visa may be cut short if your endorsement is withdrawn by the endorsing body. But if you want to stay longer, you must then reapply with a new endorsement body before the current visa expires. But please note that you can stay for a total of 2 years, even if you're granted a endorsement from a new body. Now, the next question is, especially given the Home Office delays, is how long will it take to generate a decision from the Home Office? Well, the answer to that is as follows. Once you've applied online, proved your identity and provided the required documentation, you can expect to receive your visa within 3 weeks if you're applying from outside the United Kingdom and 8 weeks if you're applying within the United Kingdom. So that's a very fast turnaround, which makes a change from a lot of the visa applications. The next question, which is obviously would be in anyone's mind, is how much will I be charged for this application? Well, how much you will have to pay for the startup visa depends on the situation and where you apply from. To put things in context, if you're applying from outside the United Kingdom, it will only be £363 for you and £363 for if you're applying for a partner and for dependents. You'll be charged £493 to apply for yourself and £493 for each dependent if you apply in the United Kingdom. I have no idea why it costs more to apply in the United Kingdom, but there you have it. You may be eligible to have a £55, not exactly a huge sum, but a £55 reduction from your application fee if you're any one of a number of listed countries that the government has set on its website. They're basically the old EU, well, not the old, they're the EU countries in that respect. And it also includes Turkey, which is worth bearing in mind. Well, the next question is, well, what can I do with a startup visa? Which obviously is a very sensible question to ask. Well, you can bring, as I've mentioned, you can bring your partner and your children with you as your dependents if you're eligible. So this is important. So you can bring your family over here if you're thinking of making the UK your home. You can also work in another job whilst working for your business, which is important if you're starting up a business. And of course, you will be free to travel abroad and return to the United Kingdom during the currency of your visa. So you're not stuck in the United Kingdom. Now, the next question is, of course, what can you not do with a startup visa? Well, you're not allowed to apply for most benefits, for example, public funds or a state pension. You cannot work as a professional sports person, for example, as a sports coach. And you cannot settle in the UK based on this visa. So there are lots of possibilities in respect of the startup visa. It is one of the government's new routes or immigration routes that have been announced and is now come into force. So if you are in the United Kingdom and you think you've got a cracking business idea, or you're abroad and you'd like to come to the United Kingdom with a good idea, the startup visa is an ideal way to get your foot in the door. And then if you can establish your business, then go on, apply for an innovator visa, and then after a period of time, settle in the United Kingdom. It's also good because you can bring dependents with you, whereas with some visas you can't. And also as a side benefit, the application fee is surprisingly low at £363 from abroad and £493 in the United Kingdom, which is considerably lower than, say, making an application under family life, which can cost £1,500, or an ILR application, which can cost about £2,500. So, in short, the startup visa offers genuine entrepreneurs that have got a good idea, whether they're in the UK or whether they're abroad. It gives them the opportunity to come to the United Kingdom, and if they're successful in their business, make the United Kingdom their home. I hope this video has been of some use. As I say, I've outlined the provisions. If you want more information, or if you want to apply, or you want to know if you're eligible, then do get in touch with me and I'll do my best to help you. Thank you very much for watching this how-to video as opposed to what has gone wrong video. And I hope you stay safe, and I look forward to you tuning into further videos. Thank you very much for watching. This is Paul Turner, Immigration Barrister at Imperium Chambers.